one of the most beautiful countries, and because of that I wanted something a little more dedicated than my phone for capturing the trip. I didn't want to fill up my phone storage with hundreds of gigabytes of video, drain my battery all day, or miss shots, because I was trying to save battery for maps, train tickets and everything else. So for this trip I decided to take the DJI Pocket 3, and over 4 days I used it everywhere, from mountain hikes and train journeys to waterfalls and city streets. So after taking it across Switzerland, would I trust it as my main travel camera? Before this trip I filmed almost everything on my phone, and honestly modern smartphones are incredibly good, but Switzerland felt like one of those places where I wanted something dedicated to capturing video. Not necessarily because my phone wasn't capable, because it definitely is, but because I didn't want to constantly worry about storage space or battery life whilst travelling. My phone was already handling maps, train tickets, the SBB mobile app, QR codes for bookings and everything else. The last thing I wanted was to arrive somewhere like Lauterbrunnen or Harder Kulm and realise I drained half my battery filming. So I picked up the DJI Pocket 3 and brought it with me for the trip. And after using it through Switzerland, I can definitely see why it's become so popular. One of the biggest reasons people buy the Pocket 3 isn't because it shoots 4K, it's because you'll actually take it with you. Throughout this trip, it lived either in my pocket or in a small compartment of my backpack. There was no camera bag full of gear, no bulky setup, and no thinking twice about whether it was worth bringing. Whether I was hopping on a train, walking around Interlaken or hiking up to Bachalpsee, it was always there and ready to go. Flip the screen open and within a few seconds you're recording. That convenience genuinely changes how much footage you end up capturing. Some of my favourite clips from this trip probably wouldn't exist if I had to stop, unpack a camera and set everything up. Of course, convenience only matters if the footage actually looks good, and honestly this is where the Pocket 3 impressed me the most. Every piece of footage that you're watching right now was filmed on this, except my talking head shots. The colours look great straight out of camera, and by the way, none of this footage is colour graded, so you can really see what the Osmo offers without any editing. Obviously grading would enhance the footage even more, but it's still very impressive I think. There's loads of detail, and even in scenes with bright skies and darker foregrounds, it handled things surprisingly well. Switzerland is a great task because you've got everything from bright snow-capped mountains and reflective lakes to shaded valleys and dark forests. The Pocket 3 dealt with all of it far better than I expected. What I like most is that it never felt like a compromise. At no point during the trip was I looking at footage thinking, I wish I'd brought something else. For travel videos, YouTube content and social media, the image quality is more than good enough. The other feature that really stands out is the stabilisation, and this is probably one of the biggest reasons people buy the Pocket 3 in the first place. Unlike a phone which relies heavily on software, the Pocket 3 has a built-in gimbal, and it makes a huge difference. Walking shots feel smoother, movement feels more natural, and everything has a slightly more cinematic look without much effort. A lot of the footage from Switzerland was simply captured while walking. No tripod, no fancy setup, no retakes, just pulling the camera out and filming. And the fact that it can consistently produce smooth footage makes it incredibly easy to use when travelling. The other plus is that you can easily film yourself with one tap and see exactly what the camera is seeing. Switching from the front camera to the rear and vice versa is very smooth. Another area I was curious about before the trip was low light performance. Because Switzerland isn't just mountain views in perfect sunshine, there are train stations, restaurants, city streets and plenty of filming after sunset. The larger sensor definitely helps, but if I'm being honest, I still wasn't massively impressed once it got properly dark. And using the zoom in low light definitely ain't the one. The quality drops pretty quickly, so for nighttime shots I'd probably just stick to my iPhone, although maybe I need to give it another chance. Battery life was also solid throughout the trip. I still carried a power bank, but that's something I'd be carrying anyway. I also bought the Osmo's battery handle with me as a backup, but at no point did I feel like battery life was limiting what I could film. The battery lasted me each day, and so I'd only need to charge it every night once back at the hotel. The other benefit is that all those videos weren't filling up my phone storage, which was one of the main reasons I bought the Pocket 3 in the first place. My phone could focus on navigation, train tickets and everything else whilst the camera handled the filming. I also didn't experience any overheating issues during the trip. Well, I definitely was overheating because it was so hot, but the Osmo Pocket was absolutely fine. And honestly, moments like the coolness from Trumbullback Falls were very welcome. Of course, it's not perfect. The zoom is quite limited, but in all fairness, it did the job. Could be better, of course. The screen can also be difficult to see in very bright sunlight, but I was so in awe of the views, I did not care. I just hit record and wow, when I watched the clips back, I was absolutely stunned with the footage. So impressed. And while I was lucky with the weather for the most part, it's worth remembering that this isn't a camera I'd want to use unprotected in heavy rain. None of those were deal breakers for me though, but they're worth keeping in mind before buying one. So after taking the DJI Pocket 3 across Switzerland, would I take it again? Hell to the yeah! They say the best camera is usually the one that you actually have with you, and throughout this trip that's exactly what the Pocket 3 was. It lived in my pocket, came with me everywhere, and made it incredibly easy to capture moments that I probably would have missed otherwise. It's small, it's quick, and image quality is genuinely impressive. If you're thinking about getting one, it will definitely remove a lot of the friction that normally comes with filming while travelling. You simply flip the screen, hit record, and within seconds you're capturing smooth, stabilised footage. For me, that's what makes it such a great travel camera. Not because it's perfect, but because it's so easy to use that you actually end up filming more. And if you're someone who currently films on their phone and is looking for a dedicated travel camera, the DJI Pocket 3 is well worth considering. I'm going to be uploading my full Switzerland video next, which will include footage from my entire trip, colour graded this time, so if you'd like to see more of Switzerland, be sure to check that one out too, and as always, thank you for watching, peace.